po bang malaking bagay para sa isang reporter para maging ganap na makatotohanan sa pagganap niya ng tungkulin? Kayo naman po eh. Napalusutan pa rin niya kayo. Sasabihin ninyong, he has truly found this calling. And we are so fortunate to have him among our ranks of fearless truth tellers. Masakit po yun eh. Kayo po ba naniniwala that the freedom of speech or the press freedom is a monopoly of a broadcasting corporation?
No, Your Honor.
Tama. Kasi kahit na sino pong mamamayan, karapatan niya rin ang press freedom. Karapatan niya na makakita, makarinig ng balita na totoo, na tunay, na walang kasinungalingan. Ang pinag-uusapan po natin dito ay prangkisa ninyo eh. Sabi kanina nung isang kasama namin nagsalita, hindi naman daw kaugnay ng prangkisa ninyo. Nakalimutan niya, nasa section 4 po ninyo yun. Your responsibility to the public. May nakalagay pa nga doon eh, willful misrepresentation. Hindi niyo po dapat kinakalimutan na dapat meron kayong obligasyon sa publiko. Kaya sangkot din ang prangkisa ninyo. Ang sabi po ninyo ay balanse, objective. Bigyan ko po kayo ng halimbawa. Nung pumanaw po si dating secretary, hindi secretary, yung pong head ng Securities and Exchange Commission, si Attorney Perfecto Yasay, ang headline po ninyo, ex-DFA Chief Yasay, o nga pala, ano pa siya, naging DFA nga po pala siya. ABS-CBN banner, ex-DFA Chief Yasay, who led Duterte's China pivot, dies. Lalagyan pa ninyo kasi ng ewan ko kung bakit kailangan po niyong lagyan pa ng parang elemento ng... Kumpara po ninyo sa GMA. Sabi ng GMA, ex-DFA Chief Perfecto Yasay Jr. passes away. Hindi po dapat ganun nga. Yun po yung tama eh. That is the true and exact account of what happened. Pero ilalagyan mo pang who led Duterte's China pivot dies. What is the reason for this?
Your Honor, I'm not very familiar with that particular headline, but I remember seeing a headline in our digital stories that read, former DFA Chief Yasay passes away.
So,
meron din po kasing iba-ibang entries sa storya, Your Honor.
Nasa online po ninyo eh. Ako po pagka sinasabi ko sa inyo, hindi ako magsisinungaling. Lalagyan pa ninyo ng flavor kasi. Lalagyan nyo pa ng palabok. Alam ba ninyo, ang katapat na parusa nun, halimbawa, bibigay ko po sa inyo. Sabi nyo kasi kanina, sinusunod ninyo yung KBP Code of Ethics. Broadcast Code of the Philippines, 2007, KBP. Ang sabi po doon sa Article 7, Section 2, persons affected by tragedy or grief shall be treated with sensitivity, respect, and discretion. They should be allowed to suffer their grief in private. Pero kung lalagyan mo pang ex-DFA Chief Yasay, who led Duterte's China pivot, dies.
Your
Yun po
Honor,
ang
there was
style.
nothing malicious in that headline.
You will be the one to decide on that, Ms. Ging Reyes? Aren't we supposed to be the one to decide on whether or not there is malice in this?
Because there was none, Your Honor. That is a fact. He was at the helm
Kayo po
of the
ba
Foreign
ang,
Affairs Department.
kayo po ba ang magja-justify nun o kami?
Your Honor, we go through this editorial process every day. It is our job. And in headline writing, there are times when context is also needed. There are times when people noted or notable for certain achievements, those achievements are mentioned. It is not necessarily a negative thing, Your Honor.
Napaka-basic lang po ng comparison na sinabi ko. Namatay po yung ex-DFA head. Ang basic na balita, ex-DFA Perfecto Yasa dies. Walang problema ron eh. Pero kung sasamutan mo ng flavor, nagkakaroon po ng kulay. Yun lang naman po ang problema. Kanina po, well, may nagsabi po sa ABS-CBN, si Ginong Carlo Katigbak yata, we're making a public commitment na lahat po ng mga taong gustong magpaliwanag o kung kami man ay nagkamali, inaanyayahan po namin. Something to that effect, Mr. Katigbak. Did you say that? Para makapagpaliwanag naman sa inyong istasyon.
We're making a public commitment po that any public official will be allowed to air their side on a story.
Yun nga. That's a commitment that you promise, an undertaking.
Yes
Diba?
po.
Okay. Ang nangyari po kasi, parang it's too late in the day. Ang dami na pong nagkaroon ng sama ng loob. Yung sinabi ko pong isa-isa kanina, Congresswoman Janet Garing, Congressman Mike Defensor, Congressman Benny Abante, Congressman Bambol Tolentino, Congressman P.D. Barsaga. Meron po kasi tayong kasabihan, Mr. Chair. Bago nagsalakot ka niya, basa na yung tuktok. Napakahirap po kasi na ngayon lang natin gagawin. Parang nagiging platitude. Sibulay, sabi nila. Parang cliche lang. Kasi bakit hindi po sasabihin ito? Kung babase po tayo sa Code of Ethics at saka yung strict ethical guidelines, sa tingin niyo po ba may ngipin yun? Ang broadcasting industry, kahit na print industry, ito po lamang ang industry sa ating bansa na walang regulation. Alam po ninyo yun. Sapagkat ang ating saligang batas gustong panatilihin yung freedom of the press. Kaya kung mapapansin ninyo, kayo lang ang industriya na talagang walang legislated regulations. So ang gagawin ninyo, self-imposed regulations, kunyari magkakaroon kayo ng Code of Ethics. Pero gaano ka-useful yung Code of Ethics kung ang pag-uusapan, di sana na-prevent lang lahat natin itong mga complaints kanina na isa-isang narinig natin. Kasi po, there are existing regulations that ABS-CBN should comply. Nauna na po yung NTC. Nandyan po yung ating saligang batas. Nandyan po yung Presidential Decree 1018. Nandyan ang Presidential Decree 576-A. Kung ito po ay hindi po nyo naganap na nasunod, ito po yung madaling halimbawa rito, Mr. Katigbak. Maraming beses po nating napatunayan, katulad po ng kayo pinagbigyan na mag-migrate from analog to digital. Meron kayong demonstration permit na yun ay merong validity hanggang June 30, 2015. Hindi naman kayo tumigil. Tuloy-tuloy kayo hanggang umabot ng 5 taon at 4 na buwan. Kung susumahin po natin yung violations, kung ilang beses yung ginawa yun, araw-araw yun, 365 times 5.4, 1,971. Kung siyam na channels po yun, Mr. Katigbak, ang bilang po ng violation nyo is 17,739. Hindi ko pa po binabanggit yun yung mahigit o 9 milyon na black box na ibinenta nyo na wala namang approval o pahintulot ang National Telecommunications Commission. Yung pinigil nila kayo na huwag niyong i-ere ang Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, sa kabila ng pagbabawal sa inyo, tinuloy niyo pa rin. So paano po kami maniniwala na dahil sa kayo merong code of ethics at merong kayong kasamang hinire na, well, in fairness to the former Justice of the Supreme Court, pagka ba meron tayong namamatnugot na isang Chief Justice o retired Associate Justice ng Korte Suprema, yung po ba ay kasiguruhan na nagagawa na nating maayos at nasusunod na natin ang itinatakda ng Code of Ethics? Ulitin ko po. Dahil po ba meron tayong isang gumagabay sa atin na isang retiradong Justice of the Supreme Court, yung po ba'y kasiguruhan na nagaganap ninyo ang tungkulin nyo sangkayon sa inyong Code of Ethics?
Your Honor, isa po yun sa epektibong pamamaraan na kami ay maging accountable at maging tapat sa aming mga guidelines at Code of Ethics.
Paano ngayon yung mga hinanakit at hinaing sa inyo ng mga kasama kong naunang nagsabi rito, na nagsalita? Isa-isa nilang isiniwalat sa inyo ang kanilang mga sama ng loob. Nandun yung ating retired Justice ng Korte Suprema. Sa makatwid, hindi tayo nakakasiguro. Kahit na siguro ilan pang retired justice ang ilagay natin dyan, sapagkat Code of Ethics lang ito eh. It is a self-imposed regulation na kayo lang naman ang pwedeng sumunod o hindi.
Your Honor, yun naman pong mga narinig kong ibang hinaing ngayong araw ay hindi naman po yan nakarating sa amin at sa aming ombudsman. I assure you that we will still act on these complaints even if they were or they happened some years ago.
Meron ba kayong record ng mga broadcasters ninyo, reporters or journalists na ikinomplain dahil sa hindi pagsunod sa mga patakaran at sa Code of Ethics na inyong sinusunod?
Yes, Your Honor.
Paano naman ang pagdidisiplina ang ginagawa ninyo? Katulad po nung nireport ko sa inyo kanina lang. Ano naman ang ginawa nyo doon?
Yun po kasing storya tungkol sa inyo, Your Honor. Ang nangyari po doon, hindi po nakuha ang panig ninyo dahil hindi po bawal po sa aming mga journalist na sila ang mag-arrange ng press conference. Ang text po niya ay sinabi niya na Upon discussion with my bosses, I was advised we're not allowed to organize press conferences for politicians or government officials. May I coordinate with your staff instead? Yun po ang kanyang sagot. So, nung ginawa po niya ang storya, hinintay po niya na, at may missed call ho siya sa inyo, inisip niya po na hindi na kayo interesadong magbigay ng panig. Yun po ang nangyari doon, kaya natuloy po ang pag-ere ng kanyang storya. Gayunpaman, Your Honor.
Bakit kinakailangang paikot-ikutin mo? Sinabi ko na nga siya yung nag-alok sa akin at nagkasundo kami magsusum 10:30 kinabukasan.
Hindi ko po
Bakit mo
pinaikot-ikot.
sasabihin ngayon na hindi ako nakahanda? Siyang nag-alok eh. Alam mong kondisyon ko lang, isa lang eh. Magsama siya ng ibang networks, reporters sa ibang networks. Ngayon, kung hindi niya sinunod yung usapan namin at ako'y naghihintay ng kinabukasan at sasabihin niya na hindi niyo siya pinapayagan, bakit bago siya nag-text sa akin, hindi niya munang kinlear sa'yo kung pupwede yung sumo, hindi? Akala ko ba ito isang abogado? Di ba dapat ang ginawa muna niya ay lumapit sa'yo, kinlear niya kung pwedeng makipag-zoom. At kung pumayag ka, matutuloy yung 10:30. Dito panlilin lang ang ginawa niya. Isang direktang panlilin lang ang ginawa niya. Sapagkat ako'y pumayag sa alok niya, mag-uusap kami kinabukasan, pero inere niya ng alas 7 ng gabi. Pagkatas sasabihin mo, sumusunod ka sa Code of Ethics. Sasabihin ko sa iyo, ito, ayon sa Section 3, page 3 nitong Broadcast Code, side comments expressing personal opinions while news items being reported or delivered are prohibited to prevent the listener from mistaking opinion for news. Yung pangalawang araw na ito yung kasama niyang broadcaster, ito yung nag-i-elicit ng opinion. Na para bang, hindi ba kanya? Maliwanag ito res ipsa loquitur. Halos pagtawanan pa niya ako doon Okay lang sa akin yun Alam mo kung alin ang nabibiktima rito, kagaya ng sinasabi namin. Yung mga tao na nakikinig, akala nila ganun katotoo. Sapagkat ipinagkait niya na sabihin, ako po ang may kasalanan Hindi ko po kasi alam na hindi pala ako papayagan. Pero dapat sinabi niya yon bago niya ako kinausap. Paano niya malalaman? Kinabukasan niya lang ako tinawagan. Pagkatapos, ipagtatanggol mo siya. Ayun, nandito sa inyong post. We are fortunate to have him among our ranks of fearless truth tellers. Ano po ba yung pagkakasalang ipinapataw ng broadcast code? Mayroong kasing indication dito na letter S. Pagka letter S, serious. Tama? Pagka G, grave. Pagka L, light. Ang sinasabi po rito, Section 6 of the same Broadcast Code of the Philippines, when the interviewer is not free to choose his questions or the interviewee or source has imposed conditions on the conduct of the interview, this fact must be made clear to the public during the broadcast. Serious na naman po ito. Ano ba yung kondisyon na binigay ko? Isa lamang po Magsama ka naman ako ng reporter sa ibang networks. Kasi nahihiya ako, meron ding nag-aalok ng interview, hindi ko sila mapagbigyan. That's the whole point. Mr. Katigbak, kanina po may nagtanong sa inyo na tungkol sa mga hindi na-i-airing mga political ads, at yan naman po alam na natin. Hindi po ba meron kayong mga tinatawag na media planners? Sila itong humahawak ng lahat ng mga political ads para yun ma-manage natin sa tamang pagkakaayos, sa tamang panahon na hinihingi nila. Kaya nga, meron kayong mga tao eh. This is a function of management. Bakit naman po nung araw na, pinakahuling araw ng yung election season, huling araw na yon, ang nakatalagang i-ere doon ay yung mga negative political ads na binayaran ni dating Senador Trillanes. At kung hindi naharang sa pamagitan ng TRO, yun ang nauna eh. Kaya minsan po, nagkakaroon ng talagang agam-agam na talagang meron kayong partisan actions. Paano kung hindi, halimbawa, naharang sa pamagitan ng TRO na inihain ni Speaker Alan Cayetano na noon ay Vice Presidenteng kandidato sa ticket ni President Duterte? Inuulit ko po, Ms. Ging Reyes, nandito po yung certification na ginawa ng Bills and Index Division para patunayan po na yung 5 mga franchise bills, wala po kong iniakda kahit isa roon.
Your Honor, if that is a new development on this matter, then we would gladly air it and publish it.
Tapos na po eh.
Opo.
Pinatawad ko na po yung reporter niyo. Sinasabi ko lang, yung nabibiktima, the chief casualty of all this exercise is the viewing public. Ako po bilang isang public servant, hindi na po ako estranghero sa ganito eh. Sanay na po kami dito eh. Maliban lang po sa mga pamilya namin, siyempre hindi sila kumikibo, nasasaktan din siguro sila. Hindi naman nila sinasabi sa amin. Pero higit sa lahat, yun pong mga tao na pinaglilingkuran natin, kapwa. Kaya nga po, nung imbitahin ako ni Mr. Carlo Katigbak, nagpasalamat na lang ako. Sabi ko, palagay ko, pwede ko nang ipasa Diyos ka ako. Ms. Ging Reyes, how do you determine that an item is newsworthy?
May you please repeat the last line, Your Honor?
Like an incident, something, a person, a subject matter. How does the network determine that it is newsworthy?
Your Honor, if it's an issue that needs to be discussed, or if it is a personality, an official of the government, anyone who has an impact and a story that has relevance and interest to the nation.
The story concocted by that reporter was primarily based on his assumption that he can impeach me and discredit me because, as he alleged, I was the principal authors of those franchise bills. Ang gusto niyang palitawin, lahat ng 5 na yon lumampas na sa 50-year limit. Ang mali niya doon, sabi ko nga sa'yo, hindi ako principal author. Pangalawa, Wala namang kinalaman yung mga sinabi niyang mga kumpanya kung lumampas na o hindi. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan dito ay yung pagbibigay ng prangkisa is addressed to the wisdom and discretion of Congress. Kung mahusay naman ang pagpatakbo mo ng prangkisa mo, inalagaan mong mabuti, sapagkat ito ay isang napaka-espesyal na pribilehyo, bakit naman hindi ka i-renew at hindi ka pagbibigyang palawigin ang prangkisa mo? Lahat ng binanggit niya na mga kumpanya, wala naman pong nai-report ng mga paglabag yun eh. Kaya siguro nabigyan ng panibagong prangkisa. Ang totoo nun, merong nag-text sa akin na yung taga-Bohol, inaasunto niya nga kayo kung bakit nyo ba't nyo sinasabi na ako ang principal author, sapagkat ang principal author doon, yung dati naming kasama rito na ngayon ay gobernador ng Bohol, si Governor Arthur Yap. Napakarami po ninyong inconsistency. Hindi po ba ang balita ay galing sa mga naganap na mga pangyayari sa loob ng isang araw? Kung ano yung nangyari, ang journalist po, mayroon siyang katungkulan na isalaysay as the event unfolds or unfolded. Yung po ba dadagdagan pa ng mga komento? Balita na po yun eh. Are you free to comment on the news or you are supposed to be sticking with the news itself?
Your Honor, the news is separate from commentary.
Correct. Let's go to the commentary. Are you familiar with the doctrine of fair comment?
A little bit, of course, Your Honor.
Ano po?
Opo, Your Honor.
What is the doctrine of fair comment?
That it is there should be a free and truthful discussion of any issue of public interest.
Medyo malayo po ng konti. When we talk about the doctrine of fair comment, the comment must be and primarily be directed to the issue itself, not to the person. Okay. Yung ginawa ng reporter ninyo, kasi at the time siguro, ang paniwala niya, I'm the most active interpellator here. Hindi po, marami po kami rito. Nagkataon lang po siguro na ako yung isa sa kanyang na-target. Sa issue po tayo dapat bumase, hindi sa tao. Ang ginagawa po ninyo ngayon, puro ad hominems. Kami po ay mga ahente lang ng pamahalaan. Kami po ay mga representatives lang. Kami po ay messenger. Yung message po ang importante.
Wala po kaming personal attacks sa inyo, Mr. Your Honor. Hindi naman po kami nag-ad hominem attacks sa news, Your Honor.
Makatwid, hindi mo alam na binigyan ko ng kopya ng text messages na yung reporter mo at saka ako, binigyan ko si President Carlo Katigbak. Hindi mo alam yun? Hindi mo alam?
The text message, Your Honor, yes, I'm aware.
Oh, alam mo pala eh. Anong sinabi mo doon sa reporter? Ba't mo naman ginawa yun? Ikaw pa lang nag-alok eh. Sumunod naman siya, pumayag naman siya. So naghihintay siya ng 10:30 kinabukasan eh. Ba't naman ganun ang ginawa mo? Ba't kinakailangang magmadali ka? Eh may usapan pala kayo. O talagang gawa na yung report na yon. Tapos inulit niya pangalawang gabi. Nakita mo pala yung text message eh. Sinabihan mo ba siya, bakit ka nangako sa kanya alam mong may patakaran natin dito, hindi po tayo pwede sa mga politiko na mag-zoom. Ba't di mo siya sinabihan ng gano'n? Tapos kinongratulate mo pa siya. Paano ako maniniwala sa inyo ngayon na merong fair comment sa inyo?
Your Honor, binigyan po namin ng panahon ng interview ninyo nung araw na yon at na-air naman po yan sa aming programa.
Ang sinasabi
That
mo,
same night, Your Honor.
ang sinasabi mo, Ms. Ging Reyes, ay yung isang reporter na nandito sa amin na babae. Hindi yung reporter na sinasabi ko sa iyo na abogado pa naman. Alam mo, tingin ko sa kanya, bata pa yun . Baka kung hindi ganyan sana yung kanyang pasimula, baka malay mo, may future siya sa pagiging abogado. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, Mr. Katigbak, sanay na ako dito . Ang hindi ko lang kinasanayan, yung hindi kayo parehas. Ako pagka parehas, walang problema . In my about 20 years in trial practice, hindi na bago sa akin yun . Nandun yung kalaban na abogado, nandun ka. Magpapaligsahan kayo sa harap ng korte. Yun ang training ko . Walang problema sa akin yun . Nagkaiba tayo ng opinion, halimbawa. The defense counsel, for example, is pursuing another theory. Ako ang prosecution, or baligtarin natin, he is the prosecutor, ako yung defense counsel. Natural lang na magkakaroon ng taliwas na pananaw sa lahat ng aspeto ng batas. But that's perfectly legal. Pero hindi ako nakasunayan dito. Yung ganitong klaseng exercise, walang parehas. Yung rules, hindi malinaw. You cling to an imaginary code of ethics. You cling to an ethical guidelines. Yan nagtanong sa inyo kanina . Meron pala kayong code of ethics. Meron kayong ethical guidelines. At you have in your employee as a retired Justice of the Supreme Court. Will now this assure that what you do in ABS-CBN will spell out integrity, transparency, and accuracy? Ang sagot mo kagad, yes, Your Honor. Walang laman yung sagot na yun Ms. Ging. Are you familiar with Presidential Decree 576-A? Anybody in ABS-CBN? Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Kayo. Section 2 of this decree. Every radio station or television channel shall allocate at least 2 hours a day as a program or programs rendering public service during such broadcast hours as are normally regarded in the industry as prime time for a particular type of program and its appropriate audience. Public service refers to news, educational and cultural presentation, and other programs informing the people of advances in science, industry, farming, and technology, of policies and important undertaking in government designed to promote or safeguard the public welfare, of matters related to physical, intellectual, and moral development of the young, or of traditions, values, and activities which constitute the cultural heritage of the nation. Let's do some accounting here. Ang sinasabi po dito, Mr. Carlo Katigbak, may I address you now because you're the highest ranking official of ABS-CBN present. This law categorically sets at least 2 hours a day, prime time, for programs on public service Lahat ng ito in-enumerate dito. Ano po yung prime time sa ABS-CBN? Between what time until what time?
Your Honor, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. po.
Okay. So ilang pong programa, maliban po sa Make It With You, alam ko po yun eh. Kasi ang asawa ko po ay talagang avid fan ni Enrique Hill at saka yung Liza Soberano. Kaya ako po napapanood yun, ayaw po kasi ng asawa kong nanonood siya nang wala siyang kasama. So kahit na po ako'y basa ng basa sa maraming mga papeles, kailangan ko pong pumanik para panoorin yun. Pero po mayroon pang probinsyano, sunod-sunod po yun eh. Ito po ba yung sinasabi ng batas dito na dapat 2 hours man lang informing the people of advances in science, in industry, in farming and technology, of policies and important and blah, blah, blah. Wala akong nakikitang ganito eh, Mr. Caparas. Katigbak. Ito po ay isang batas na hindi pa nare-repeal. Hindi po ba hanggang alas 10, sunod-sunod po yung telenovela na yun?
Yes,
Maliban sa balita, meron po kayong balita. Ang problema, yung mga balita, yung masyadong morbid po yung patayan dito, patayan doon. Wala man lang ibinalita na, yung sakip party list ni Cong Dante Marcoleta, nagbigay po ng, kasi po marami akong nahinging bigas sa mga kaibigan. Pagka ganun, walang ibabalita na ganun. Kailangan po, ang ibabalita lang, puro patayan. Ni-rape si ganito, ninakaw yung ganito. Ganito po ang nangyayari. Kanina po, yung sinasabi kong platitude, mga sibulays, mga cliché na gagawin po namin ang nararapat na reforma kung ganito po, ganyan-ganyan. Pagbibigyan po namin lahat, nakapagsalita sa loobin nila kung kami po ay nakagawa ng ganito, nakapanakit ng gano'n at ganyan. Naalala ko po tuloy, I think that was the 14th Congress. Ang speaker po ay Speaker Boy Nograles. Ang pinag-uusapan po noon yung right of reply. Ito po sana yung batas na tatapat dun sa kung meron kayong nasaling na damdamin, meron kayong nai-report na medyo nakatama sa kanyang puso, halimbawa, nagkakaroon ng pagkakataong makapagsalita sana. Yun po yung right of reply. Alam po ba ninyo na nung panahon na yon, dahil sa lakas ng media, kasama po ang ABS-CBN, talagang nandi po yung mga ibang mga reporters. Sa lakas po ng media, na ayaw po nila yung right of reply, yung pong chairman ng Public Information Committee, ayaw na niyang magdepensa. Hindi ko na po babanggitin ang pangalan. Yung dalawa pong authors ng batas na yon, right of reply, hindi ko na po babanggitin sapat yung isa ay nasa Senado na. Ayaw po nilang idepensa. Nakiusap po sa akin si Speaker Nograles kung pwedeng ako. Sabi ko, Speaker, bakit ako? Hindi naman ako membro ng, hindi na nga ako miyembro. Sabi ko, hindi naman ako author. Hindi, sabi niya, parang tulong mo na lang sa atin kasi wala nang gustong magdepensa on the floor. Second reading na po sana yun eh. Sa lakas po ng media, particular na po ang ABS-CBN, it died a natural death. Ngayon po, sasabihin niyo sa amin na pwede naman po kayong pumunta sa ABS-CBN para tagbigyan namin po kayo na makapagsalita para sa inyo. Parang huli na po ang lahat eh. Wala na po ba akong panahon, Mr. Chair? Sandali na lang sana ito eh.
Wala na po kayong oras sa Deputy Speaker Marcoleta at sana po ay tapusin nyo na po ang inyong line of questioning.
Kasi po, Mr. Chair, karamihan po sa mga journalist ngayon, kung ano-ano po yung mga ginagamit nilang pamamaraan, halimbawa po yung source-based stories, minsan po naabuso ito eh. Sinasabi nila, according to one analyst, observer, who requested anonymity, paano po natin masasabi kung talagang existido yung mga tao na yun? Minsan po, nagre-resort sila sa poetic license. Para yung mga artist po, yung mga pintor, minsan nagdi-debate sila sa normal. Akala nila mga artist din sila eh. Para i-wind up ko po, payagan po nyo kung basahin ko lang itong nakasulat sa librong ito, News for Sale, The Corruption and Commercialization of Philippine Media, 2004 edition.
Sige po, pakibasa po ninyo.
Ito po ay copyright 2004 Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism. Ito po ang malungkot na pagtatapat ni Ms.
Sino po ang
Malu
sumulat
Mangas.
ng librong inyong babasahin, Congressman Marcoleta?
Ang nakalagay po rito, Chay Florentino Hofilenya, pero meron pong mga forward po ng editor's note ni Sila Coronel, Executive Director, Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism.
Sige po, ituloy po ninyo.
Sabi po niya sa page 93, corruption in the Philippine media remains endemic, almost systemic. It afflicts generally all levels of the organization in most of the newspapers, tabloids, radio and television networks. The bribe givers and the bribe takers have evolved a subculture and language all their own. PR agents and publicists of the government and the private sector have significantly eroded editorial discretion. Enterprise stories are rare, and in many instances, news subjects dictate and control the flow and focus of the news. There is apparent breakdown of command and discipline in many newsrooms. Editors think many reporters are inferior in craft, intelligence, and integrity, while many reporters harbor only grudging respect, or none at all, for their editors. The press corps has become the single biggest influence on many reporters. Ito pa po. Sa page 33 po, ito po nakasulat. Apart from the paramount importance of ratings, many of the networks also had to deal with the biases and preferences of their owners and top news executives. In early 2004, for example, some ABS-CBN staff noticed a pro-FPJ slant in some news reports, particularly those aired on TV Patrol, the network's flagship news program. Network insiders attributed this to the fact that ABS-CBN Vice President for News Production, Jake Maderazo, known to be close friend of FPJ supporter Eduardo Dandinko Huangco, had taken charge of the newscast. Ito pa po. The other administration candidate who did very well in the senatorial race was Rojas, page 38. After a cameo appearance in the comedy show, Okay, Fine, Whatever, he bombarded the airwaves with his Mr. Palenque political ads. Rojas used Mr. Palenque image to appeal to the masses, even as his handlers link him romantically to Corina Sanchez. News of the supposed romance was in newscast, gossip programs, and on radio and newspapers. The ABC-CBN broadcaster also endorsed Rojas on our popular morning show on radio station DCMM. The buzz created about a relationship no doubt helped Rojas zoom up from number 17 post in mid-January to become the #1 senator. Last question po, Mr. Chair. Mr. Katigbak, meron po ba kayong mapagtitibayang dokumento na lahat po ng mga political ads na binayaran ng mga candidates ay sinumite sa isang ahensya, halimbawa ang COMELEC, para makita natin kung yung panahon na maibibigay sa kanila ay garantisadong walang pagkakaungusan, pare-parehas. Sang-ayon na rin sa Fair Election Act. Kailangan walang mabigyan ng advantage sa bawat isa. Meron po ba kayong parang accounting na kung saan yung pati pag-iimbita sa mga kandidato ay natutupad natin yung Fair Election Act na bawat isa ay equally na nabigyan ng pagkakataon? Maipakita, masabi ang kanilang advocacy. So yung visibility, hindi lamang dun sa pagbabayad ng political ads. Meron po ba kayong ganong dokumento na pwede naming makita para ganon makita namin na talagang balanse pati yung pagbibigay po ninyo ng pagkakataon sa kanila na magamit ang inyong istasyon?
Mr. Chair, sa pagkakaalam ko po, yung COMELEC po ang nagbabantay ng appearances po ng bawat kandidato during the campaign period kasi po may limitasyon yung number of minutes allowed per candidate. At lahat po ng election spending per candidate ay sinasubmit din po namin sa COMELEC. So lahat po ng records na tinutukoy nyo ay makukuha po sa COMELEC.
Yun nga po, lahat po ba ng mga political ads na nagbayad ay bago ninyo tinanggap, na-submit nyo na kagad sa COMELEC para sa ganun, nakita niya antimano na sobra na si candidate X, parang masyado yung nakilingan nyo si candidate Y, halimbawa.
Ang rules po ng COMELEC are within 5 days kailangan i-submit po lahat sa kanila.
Sa mga kapatid po, pag nakuha namin sa COMELEC yun, lilitaw na talagang parehas na parehas po ang pagkakahati ng panahon ay binigay ninyo sa bawat kandidato na humiling ng pagkakataong magamit ang inyong istasyon?
Yung rules po ng COMELEC ay may limitasyon sa bawat kandidato sa number of minutes po kung saan sila pwedeng lumabas sa media. So yung COMELEC po ang nagbibilang. Kung
halimbawa, nakaligtaan po ng COMELEC yun, sa inyo po, dahil meron kayong ombudsman, hindi ba tinitingnan? Kasi kayo po nagsabi, meron kayong ombudsman eh. Sa panig nyo lamang po, nakikita na ba natin na naging parehas tayo? Pwede ba nating makita yung dokumento sa inyo kung meron kayo?
Sige po, check namin lahat ng appearances po ng political candidates. Opo.
Mr. Chair, bago po ako magwakas, kung maalala po ninyo, more than 2 weeks ago, nagkaroon po ako ng parliamentary inquiry. At doon sinabi ko po na nakita ko po na yung titulo ng ABS-CBN na isinumiti nila sa atin, yung una po nilang sinabit ay isang Xerox copy lang. Nung kumuha po ko ng electronic copy, ang inaasahan ko pong makuha, Mr. Chair, ay yung original copy. Kahit sino po ay inaasahan niya kapag ikaw ay humingi na sa Register of Deeds, ang makikita niyo pong ibibigay nila ay yung original copy. Yung pong salitang original copy, Mr. Chair, nakasulat po sa left margin ng titulo. Pwede po ba nating ipasinag yung, magpagawa po ako ng yung kopya po ng mga titulo, pwede nyo bang i-zoom para makita natin? Mr. Chair, makikita po ninyo yung dalawang magkapares na titulo. Ito pong bandang kanan po, yan po yung Xerox copy na tinanggap natin na una, bago po sila nagbigay ng electronic copy. Yung electronic copy po, ito yung bandang kaliwa. Mapapansin po nyo yung seal. Medyo napingas po yung bandang unahan ng seal, dito sa bandang kaliwa. Kung papapansin nyo, buo po yung seal ng kanan. Doon po makikita ninyo na merong sinopress na isang importanteng bagay. Makikita nyo, may linya po doon sa may unahan ng natapyas na ulo ng seal. Nawawala po yung pinagkunan ng titulo na 125702. Ito po yung titulo ng ABS-CBN. Doon po sa sinubmit nila, 110731, malinaw po yun. Pero doon sa nakuha ko na po na kopya, nasuppress na po yun. Ito po nagiging problema, Mr. Chair. Nung tiningnan ko po yung pinagkunan na titulo, yung 110731, TCT 110731, mabibigla po kayo sapagkat iba po yung lugar na tinutukoy doon, parang barangay Bagong Nayon. At ang area po niya ay 42 square meters. Samantalang yung binigay po nilang titulo sa atin, meron po siyang area na about 44,000 plus square meters. Pagkatapos meron pong annotation sa bandang kanan ng titulo 125702, nakalagay PR 9606. Ang ibig po sabihin ng PR, Provisional Registration. Pwede po bang makapagbigay ang ABS-CBN kung meron kayong kopya ng Provisional Registration? Nakapagtataka po kasi, pagkatapos ng 53 taon, bakit hindi pa po kayo nakakuha ng titulo? Bakit? At saka bakit po yung, kung totoo pong merong provisional registration, bakit hindi po naka-annotate doon sa titulo ninyo? Dapat po naka-annotate yun.
Congressman Marcoleta, bago po sumagot ang ABS, naubos na po ninyo yung oras ninyo. Bagamat papayagan ko pong magbigay linaw ang ABS-CBN at kung hindi po kayo magiging masaya sa magiging sagot ng ABS-CBN, ay maaari nating pag-usapan itong talakayan na ito tungkol sa torrents titles po ng pagmamay-ari ng ABS-CBN sa Blue Ribbon Committee na po, Congressman Marcoleta. ABS-CBN?
If I may be recognized, Mr. Chair.
Opo, nirecognize ko na
Sir,
po kayo, ma'am.
Yung pong hinihingi ni Congressman Marcoleta, wala po kaming sagot doon po sa PR number na sinasabi niyo po.
Ma'am, yung hinihingi po kasi ni Congressman Marcoleta, pwede niyo po akong itama kung ako'y nagkakamali. Yan po kasi ay katibayan na kayo talaga ang may-ari po nung lote na kinatitirikan ng ABS-CBN. At
Mr. Chairman,
ilang beses na po na itinanong ni Congressman Deputy Speaker Marcoleta sa Committee Secretariat kung nasaan ba talaga yung original na torrents title po para mapatunayan na ang ABS-CBN talaga ang may-ari nung lote po na nababanggit. ABS-CBN?
Mr. Chair, nung one of the first few hearings, we already brought the original copy of the title, which was already examined here, and we already submitted a certified true copy of the title before the COMSEC.
Yes, Vice Chairman Mike Defensor.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, nabanggit na po ni Deputy Speaker Marcoleta na iba po yung isinumbite na hindi po yun owner certificate to.
Iba po yung sinubmit nila, Mr. Chair. Hindi ko po nakita yung original, kung may original. Ang nakita ko po yung Xerox copy. Pero
Mr.
yung
Chair,
Xerox copy po, ang sinasabi, duplicate.
Deputy Speaker Marcoleta, sa palagay ko po hindi kayo masaya sa sagot ng ABS-CBN. Kaya gaya po ng nauna kong nabanggit ay maaari natin pag-usapan sa Blue Ribbon Committee yung usapin ng torrents titles ng ABS-CBN. matapos po ang usapin sa prangkisa ng ABS-CBN.
Pwede rin po,
Congressman
Mr. Chair.
Marcoleta.
Ang problema lang ganito, sapagkat walang closure po yung isang subject matter na diniscuss natin, ito po yung reacquisition ng properties ng ABS-CBN. Marirecall po ninyo na yung record ng first arbitration noong 1987, ito po yung nawawala. Pagkatapos nga, nakita natin, pati titulo, questionable po eh. Ang ibig lamang pong sabihin kasi nito, hindi po existido yung original title sa vault ng Register of Deeds ng Quezon City. Hindi po maliit na bagay po ito, Mr. Chair. Ito po, nandito po nakalagay ang transmitter, ang headquarters ng ABS-CBN. Kung hindi po nila palilitawin yung original title, questionable po yun. Alam po ba ninyo, dalawa ang titulo ng 125702? Isa sa kanila at saka sa isang mag-asawang Honsay. Yun naman po ay 400 square meters. Napakarami pong duda nitong titulong ito eh.
Mr. Chairman,
nakaano pa rin po ito, nakakonekta pa rin po sa prangkisa.
Mr. Chairman,
Naiintindihan ko po, Deputy Speaker Marcoleta, ngunit kagaya po ng sinabi ko, kung hindi po nila maisumite, ang nakarecord po sa Secretariat na ilalagay po sa report ng joint committee ito ay hindi sila nakapagsumite ng original na titulo. At maaari po ninyong ayusin po yung records sa panahon po na maisasubmit po ninyo yung original na titulo. ABS-CBN?
Mr. Chair, during one of the hearings, the original copy was already exhibited before this court. At any rate, we have submitted a copy of the certified true copy of the title issued by the Register of Deeds before the committee secretary.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Mr. Chairman.
Vice Chairman Defensor, pagkatapos po ikikilalanin ko si Congressman Zarate.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to put on record that the Deputy Speaker is not satisfied with the record submitted and that we will continue the hearing on this particular case, the title of ABS-CBN, in furtherance of the verification of the Honorable Marcoleta in the Good Government Committee, not anymore in the Franchise Committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Congressman Zarate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Much as I want to accommodate, no? Pero marami tayong mga kasamahan nag-aantay, no, na mag-interpolate pa. And gaya lang nabanggit ng lawyer ng ABS-CBN, I can recall na may pinakita silang titulo rito na original, na maluma na, and it was inspected, no? Tiningnan ng mga kasamahan natin dito, and they were required to submit a certified true copy, at andyan na yan sa Secretariat. If some of our members are not satisfied, then so be it, no? But hindi totoo na hindi sila nagpakita rito ng original na kopya ng titulo.
Mr. Chair, ang pinakita po nila
Yes,
is an
Deputy Speaker
owner's
Marcoleta.
duplicate certificate. Hindi po yun ang original copy. Pwede po bang...
Hearing suspended. Hearing resumed. Chairman Chikoy.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Jonathan. So ilagay na lang po natin sa record na si Congressman Marcoleta ay hindi po satisfied doon sa sinabmit po na torrents title po ng ABS-CBN at ilalagay na lang po natin COMSEC sa record na nakabinbin pa po ito. Although meron po sinabmit, ilagay sa record, meron sinabmit ng ABS, hindi po ito yung hinahanap po ni Congressman Marcoleta. Thank you. Pwede po magpatuloy na sa susunod na magtatanong. Congressman Law Fortune, you are recognized na po. Boss, naka-mute pa po yata.
Can I now be heard, Mr. Chairman?
Malinaw na po, please proceed.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. May mga itatanong pa po sana ako. Kung sana ay natawag ng pangalan ko batay sa tamang queuing. At ako po sana ang tatawagin kanina bago pa man si Congressman Marcoleta. Kaya lang po, hindi ko alam anong nangyari. Nauna po siya, kahit ako ay nauna sa lista. At medyo inabot na po ako ng alas 11 sa pag-aantay. At any rate, Mr. Chair, I will no longer belabor the issues of meddling in elections and bias reporting hurled against ABS-CBN. It's already late and we all want to rest. And after all the interpellations, the interpellation of Representative Rufus Rodriguez, Mr. Chair, the allegations of bias reporting and meddling in elections appear to have all been refuted and shown to be wanting in merit. We have now come to the last day of our marathon hearings, Mr. Chair. And the same has been the case since day one. No less than the concerned agencies that have testified all attest to ABS-CBN's compliance with laws, rules, and regulations. Sabi ng DOJ, 100% Filipino citizen si Mr. Lopez, at there was never any instance that he lost his Filipino citizenship. Sabi ng Securities and Exchange Commission, the PDRs that were issued to foreign entities were not illegal. And there was never an instance that any of these foreign entities have been able to convert their PDRs into common shares. Pagdating naman po sa issue ng 50-year limitation, DOJ na rin nagsabi that the limitation refers to each franchise. In other words, you can operate for more than 50 years provided that none of your franchise exceeds 50 years. Pagdating po sa issue ng labor, the DOLE is certified to compliance. Pagdating ng issue ng tax, both the BIR and the PEZA all certified to payments of these taxes. And now, today, Mr. Chair, KBP, COMELEC, MTRCB, even the NTC have all said ABS-CBN has complied. Mr. Chair, after all the lengthy exercise for the past 12 hearings, I think we all have come to a common conclusion that there are reforms we need to institute in the industry, that there are flaws and deficiencies in our laws that Congress need to address. And in order to improve the mass media industry, Mr. Chair, we need to work hand in hand. The players in the industry, we need their commitment to do the reforms within their respective companies, Congress for the needed legislations, and the public, the listening and viewing public, for their vigilance, Mr. Chair. Shutting down a mass media corporation is certainly not the right thing to do, Mr. Chair. The Speaker just issued a statement, Mr. Chair, I read a while ago, urging a conscience vote on the matter of the franchise of ABS-CBN. This is most welcome, and we appeal to the members of the committee to seek divine guidance and consult their conscience, whether or not denying the franchise of ABS-CBN, depriving millions of our Filipinos, of our people, access to information and entertainment, and causing massive unemployment in the middle of a pandemic, are consistent with prudent judgment, justice, and equity, Mr. Chair. I appeal, Mr. Chair, for the sound judgment of the members of the committee. As I end, Mr. Chair, let me just share with you an adage that might be our guidance as the members of the committee vote this week. Somebody said, Mr. Chair, I expect to pass this world but once. Any good, therefore, or any kindness that I can show to any man, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I this way. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening.
Maraming salamat po, Kong Fortune. Ang susunod po ay si Congressman Ron Salo.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Magandang gabi po. Malinaw po ba ang aking boses?
Malinaw na malinaw po.
Magandang gabi po sa bawat po sa atin. Dahil medyo malalim na po ang gabi, babasahin ko na lang po ang aking manifestation. I am one of the few authors who wish to grant ABS-CBN a new franchise, as I desired to give it a new lease of life. I filed House Bill number 6901 because the party list group, Kabayan Party List, that I represent was of the initial impression that ABS-CBN is worthy thereof, and while ABS-CBN is not a perfect company, it will strive to be better. Further, at the time I filed the bill, we were of the impression that ABS-CBN will be able to fully explain and rebut the numerous alleged violations hurled against it on the constitutional requirement of Filipino ownership and management of mass media entities, on labor laws and standards, on non-payment of appropriate amount of taxes, on legal assignment of franchise without congressional approval, and biased reporting, among others. Finally, we initially thought that providing certain parameters to address the alleged violations of ABS-CBN in the franchise to be granted will be welcomed by the applicant. The proposed 7 parameters are: first, strict compliance with the Constitution, laws, rules, and regulations, including labor laws and standards; promotion of employment and security of tenure; ensuring impartial and balanced reporting; promotion of positive Filipino values; provision of public service time; strengthened self-regulation of contents; and reasonable and equitable rates of election ads. Most of these proposed parameters were already present in ABS-CBN's expired franchise and in the current franchise of other networks, while the others are deemed written therein. Wala po akong nilalatag na bagong regulasyon sa prangkisa ng ABS-CBN. Nililinaw at iniisa-isa ko lang ang mga ito na pamantayan na kailangan nilang sundin sapagkat sa dami ng aligasyon ng paglabag, lumalabas na nakakaligtaan o napapabayaan ng mga nagpapalakad ng ABS-CBN ang mga obligasyon nila sa bayan at sa ating mga mamamayan. And yet, I was reported to be imposing strict regulations to ABS-CBN with our proposed parameters. ABS-CBN's Christian B. Esguerra reported, quote-unquote, that the proposed parameters, quote, were seen as the government's way to control the shattered news network repeatedly criticized by President Rodrigo Duterte, unquote. Journalism professor Christian Esguerra passed it on as a news article, and yet the first sentence is already laced with his biased personal opinion. Okay lang po sana kung sinulat ni Ginong Esguerra isang opinion o editorial at hindi news article. Mr. Esguerra's inability to be impartial is perhaps the primary reason for his fierce objection to my proposed measure. He had difficulty separating facts from opinion, for indeed, news should be about facts. And if one has to report an opinion, then there must be proper attribution. But it's a cardinal sin for a journalist to pass on his opinions as facts. Now, as the hearings draw to a close after spending many days, several weeks, and countless hours listening to the testimonies and answers of resource persons, both for or against the grant of a new franchise to ABS-CBN, in which I have actively participated, my party list and our constituents who expressed their sentiments in our social media posts are convinced that the pieces of evidence presented, discussed, and distilled in the hearings favor the oppositors. Sa pagtatasa namin, ang mga inailatag na ebidensya ay mas pumapabor sa mga hindi pumapayag na mabigyan muli ng bagong prangkisa ang ABS-CBN. My party list group deems that ABS-CBN failed to successfully rebut the long list of alleged violations, and thus, this representation cannot anymore support the grant of a new franchise to ABS-CBN. Dahil dito, hindi na kayang suportahan ng Kabayan Party List ang pagbibigay ng bagong prangkisa sa ABS-CBN. I am respectfully manifesting to this honorable committee my withdrawal of my authorship of House Bill number 6901. I have already submitted this afternoon to the Bills and Index of the House of Representatives my letter formally withdrawing my authorship thereof, a copy of which I will send to the honorable joint committees. Before I end, Mr. Chairman, my heart grieves for the ABS-CBN employees who face possible displacement, particularly at this time of the pandemic. As an act of redemption for its employees, I hope that ABS-CBN will be generous enough to attend to its employees' needs in these difficult times, as it may be its last act of magnanimity to the people it has considered its family. In any case, I am also certain that this will just be temporary setback to majority of its employees, as other networks and stations will readily accept a workforce that comes with proven talents and expertise. Nonetheless, I shall continue to push for the inclusion of the 7 parameters I outlined in House Bill 6901 and 6902, particularly a pro-labor provision to be the underlying principles of all broadcast media in the Philippines. Mananatili ang aming marubdob na pagnanais na magkaroon ng malinaw na proteksyon sa karapatan ng ating mga manggagawa sa lahat ng networks. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat, Kong Salo. Noted po sa inyong manifestation. Comsec, pakitake note po sa manifestation ni Kong Salo. Ang susunod po na magsasalita ay si Congresswoman Sara Ilago. Kong Sara.
Maraming salamat, Ginoong Chair. The youth is especially concerned with the alleged violation of public duty on bias reporting and the content the ABS-CBN propagates, especially that it has a public duty, a responsibility to the public to assist in public information and education. May we know, Mr. Chair, from ABS-CBN, what has it done thus far sa kanya pong 25 na taon na pag-ere, pagdating sa pagsuporta sa public information at sa education. Mainam rin po na mabigyan ng focus ngayon sa panahon na pandemya na nasa higit 30 milyon ang mga apektado na mga estudyante, ang mga learners at buong education community na nasa krisis din, nasa mayor na krisis ng edukasyon sa panahon
Kong Sara,
ng
sorry po,
pandemya.
Kong Sara.
Tayo po ay
Kong Sara, pakidikit lang po yung mic sa inyo. Napuputol-putol po kayo. Pakidikit lang po yung mic. Hindi po malinaw po.
May I repeat my question, Mr. Chair?
Sige po, pakilapit lang po yung mic para po mas marinig po dito.
Magandang gabi po sa lahat. The youth is especially concerned with the alleged violation of ABS-CBN's public duty in bias reporting and the content it propagates, especially that it has a responsibility to the public not to assist with public information and education. May we know, Mr. Chair, what has ABS-CBN done so far in supporting the millions of learners and the education workforce? Ngayon, Ginoong Chair, na tayo po ay nasa panahon ng COVID-19 pandemic na nasa krisis din po na sa edukasyon ang ating milyon-milyon na mga estudyante at ng mga guro. At tayo po ay naghahanap ng iba't ibang pamamaraan para magpatuloy pa rin ang pag-aaral ng mga estudyante, ang operasyon ng ating mga paaralan at tuloy-tuloy ang learning habang binibigyan ng prioridad ang kalusugan at ang kapakanan ng bawat isang learner at lahat ng miyembro ng education workforce. May we hear from the ABS-CBN officials, Ginoong Chair?
Mr. Katigba.
Mr. Chair, sorry, I'm not sure I heard the question correctly, Your Honor, pero if I understood your question correctly, how much support have we given to the government and what are we willing to do to support the government in its efforts? Mr. Chair, siguro just a summary of what we have been able to supply in terms of airtime to various agencies of the government in 2019. We have aired close to 800 million po worth of spots for various government agencies. This is on top of a channel that we have dedicated to education, a knowledge channel which is available on TV Plus. That is in partnership with the Department of Education. We have created curriculum-based programming for public school students po.
Mr. Chair, when the President, Mr. Carlo said about curriculum-based learning, ano po ang ibig sabihin na ito? Sa lahat po ba ng grade level, meron po tayong available na mga materials in partnership with the Department of Education? O meron lamang pong pili sa ngayon na binibigyan natin ng focus para makatulong sa public information at sa education? At gano'n na po katagal itong pagkakaroon ng isang curriculum-based na broadcast para sa loob po ng Knowledge Channel?
Sorry po, ma'am. I really can't hear the question from here. Sorry.
My apologies, Mr. Chair. Can I just reset my audio? Can we go first to the next interpolator before my turn?
Sige po, Kung Sara, pakiayos na lang po muna. Puntahan po muna siguro natin ngayon si Congressman Edsel Lagman. Manong Edsel, pwede na po kayo.
Thank you, Joint Chairman. I will not anymore make any interpolation. I would make a manifestation. The freedom of the press is an overriding issue in the long-drawn renewal of the legislative franchise of ABS-CBN Corporation. The freedom of the press, which is an integral component of the freedom of expression, is accorded primacy in the constellation of civil liberties which are protected by the Bill of Rights. Notwithstanding occasional alleged violations by ABS-CBN in its operations, the decision of the joint committees on the issues of, quote, bias reporting, unquote, and, quote, meddling in politics, unquote, should take into serious consideration the relevance of the following jurisprudential pronouncements. 1. Chavez versus Gonzalez, GR number 168338, February 15, 2008, penned by no less than Chief Justice Reynaldo Puno. It says, in this jurisdiction, it is established that freedom of the press is crucial and so inextricably woven into the right of free speech and free expression, that any attempt to restrict it must be met with an examination so critical that only a danger that is clear and present will be allowed to curtail it. As early as the 1920s, the trend as reflected in Philippine and American decisions was to recognize the broadest scope and assure the widest latitude for the constitutional right of freedom of the press. The trend represents a profound commitment to the principle that debate on public issue should be uninhibited, robust, and wide open. Freedom of speech and of the press means something more than the right to approve existing political beliefs or economic arrangements, to lend support to official measures, and to take refuge in the existing climate of opinion in a matter of public consequence. When atrophied, the right becomes meaningless. The right belongs as well, if not more, to those who question, who do not conform, who differ. The ideas that may be expressed under this freedom are confined not only to those that are conventional or acceptable to the majority. To be truly meaningful, freedom of speech and of the press should allow and even encourage the articulation of the unorthodox view, though it be hostile to or derided by others. Although such view induces a condition of unrest, creates dissatisfaction with conditions as they are, or even stirs people to anger. 2. Gonzales versus Calao Katigbang, GR number 69500, July 22, 1985. Quote, censorship is allowable only when the clearest proof of a clear and present danger of a substantive evil to public safety, public morals, public health, or any other legitimate public interest. 3. Going versus Court of Appeals, GR number 128959, September 30, 2005. Quote, it cannot be helped that if the commentary protected by the Bill of Rights is accompanied by excessive color or innuendo, certainly persons in possession of truthful facts are not obliged to present them in bland fashion. Dry facts by themselves are hardly stirring. It is the commentary thereupon that usually animates the discourse, which is encouraged by the Constitution as integral to the democratic way of life. As adverted to earlier, the guarantee of free speech was enacted to protect not only polite speech, but even expression in the most unsophisticated form. Unquote. 4. ABS-CBN versus Comelec. Quote, the freedom of speech and of the press should be more upheld. When what is sought to be curtailed is the dissemination of information meant to add meaning to the equally vital right of suffrage. When faced with the borderline situations in which the freedom of a candidate or a party to speak or the freedom of the electorate to know is invoked against actions allegedly made to assure clean and free elections, this court shall lean in favor of freedom. The ascendancy and protection of the press freedom are projected in bold relief during elections, so much so that there should be no ban on meddling in politics. Osmeña versus Comelec, GR number 132231, March 31, 1998, quoting the Federal Supreme Court decision in Buckley versus Vallejo. And I quote, "The First Amendment was designed to secure the widest possible dissemination of information from diverse and antagonistic sources, and to assure unfettered interchange of ideas for the bringing about of political and social changes desired by the people." And 6, Social Weather Station Inc. versus Comelec, GR number 147571, May 5, 2001. Because of the preferred status of the constitutional right of speech, expression, and the press, such a measure, referring to alleged measures restraining freedom of expression and freedom of the press, is vitiated by a weighty presumption of invalidity. Indeed, any system of prior restraints of expression comes to this court bearing a heavy presumption against its constitutional validity. The government thus carries a heavy burden of showing justification for the enforcement of such restraint. That there is thus a reversal of the normal presumption of validity that impedes in every legislation. Let me just underscore, Joint Chairman, that this is a reverse presumption. While ordinarily a law or an act is presumed to be constitutional, here, when it is alleged that freedom of the press is being infringed, the opposite is true. The presumption is the measure is not constitutional, and it is the burden of the government to show that it is constitutional. The foregoing jurisprudence support the verity of the following positions. A, the constitutionally protected freedom of the press guarantees that media outlets can take sides, broadcast and telecast differing views, and advocate positions which may be opposed to partisan pronouncements and critical of political personalities. B, balanced reporting is required, with emphasis on self-regulation and subject to the jurisdiction of the KBP and the MTRCB. Absence of bias is not absolutely required. Otherwise, the freedom of the press will be curtailed by prior restraint or subsequent punitive action. C, critical commentary, reasonable preference, and even incidental bias are protected by the expansive veil of freedom of the press and free speech. It is tolerable, not censurable. D, aside from providing the public with information, public service, and entertainment, a broadcasting network is a catalyst for the formation of differing opinions. Therefore, it must be proactive, not passive or timid, which may even approximate rhetorical hyperbole. E, the Public Act number 7966, which granted the franchise of ABS-CBN, does not demand that the franchisee should adopt absolute neutrality, because enforced neutrality is anathema to the freedom of the press, which protects critical commentaries. The limitation is that the telecast or broadcast must not be libelous or must not constitute a criminal offense. Under under its franchise, ABS-CBN is only enjoined not to use its stations for the broadcasting of obscene and indecent language, speech, act, or scene, or the dissemination of deliberately false information or willful misrepresentation to the detriment of the public interest, or to incite, encourage, or assist in subversive or treasonable acts. It is not prohibited to take sides in the exercise of press freedom and freedom of expression. F. During an election campaign, the freedom of the press strengthens the right of suffrage by maximizing the electorate's access to political and partisan information. Television and broadcast outlets are not prohibited from meddling in politics. More particularly, negative advertisement is allowed by the Fair Election Act, which recognizes, and I quote, election propaganda by television or radio for or against a candidate or a group of candidates, unquote. This is Section 4 of the Fair Election Act. The Fair Election Act likewise does not enforce a policy of neutrality on media outlets, and neither does it prohibit them from advocating preferences as long as rival parties and candidates are afforded equal time, space, and the opportunity to reply. Joint Chairman, in the United States, television outlets are allowed to broadcast their own biases, so much so that Fox News is invariably pro-Trump and CNN is basically anti-Trump. In France, the newspaper Le Monde is undoubtedly left-wing, while Le Figaro is ultra-conservative. The same state of affairs holds true in the United Kingdom, where the Daily Telegraph is known for being a right-of-center newspaper which supported the moderate Conservative Party in the 2019 UK elections, while The Guardian has a more liberal stance on issues and has traditionally backed the more progressive Labour Party. So, in fine, Joint Chairman, in other countries of the same democratic heritage, media outlets are given that opportunity to express their views or even have their own biases with respect to political events as well as during elections. Thank you, Joint Chairman, for this opportunity to express these views.
Maraming salamat po, Congressman Lagman. Ngayon naman po, balikan na po natin si Congresswoman Sara Ilago. Kong Sara.
Maraming salamat po ulit, Ginoong Chair. Hindi na po ako babalik sa aking katanungan kanina, no? Ngunit nais ko pong bigyan ng diin ang kahalagahan ng pagpapalawi ng access sa informasyon at lahat po ng suporta na kinakailangan bilang tulong po, no, sa paghahatid ng edukasyon sa ating milyon-milyon na mga learners at sa buong education community ay kinakailangan ngayon sa panahon na tayo po ay nakasalalay sa distance mode ng learning para matiyak na magkaroon ng pantay na oportunidad ang bawat isang bata at kabataan na makapagpatuloy pa rin ang pag-aaral sa gitna ng pandemya. Pangalawa, Ginoong Chair, nais ko pong ipabatid, no, at ibahagi rin, no, sa ating mga kababayan ang commitment po ng mga kabataan na protektahan at magbantay, no, patuloy na magbantay sa paninindigan at pagtatanggol ng mga prinsipyo sa broadcasting na ito ay magiging tagapagtanggol ng katotohanan, ng may bukas na isipan, may pananagutan, may balanse, responsable, may otoridad sa saligang batas, at siyang nagtatanggol, nagpapahayag at nagpoprotekta sa ating kalayaan sa pananalita, sa pagpapahayag, sa pamamahayag at ang karapatan ng publiko na magkaroon po ng access sa information na may kinalaman sa kanilang kapakanan. Gayon din ang pagtataguyod ng dangal at kagandahang asal ng katwiran, ng alaga at pag-iingat, sumusunod sa mga rules at regulations po ng KBP. Kaya ang representasyon po na ito ay nagsusulong ng media and information literacy at gayon din yung campus press freedom, yung pag-atitiyak po na itataguyod natin ang press freedom sa loob ng mga paaralan, bilang dyan pa lamang nagkakaroon na po ng karanasan ang ating mga estudyante, scholar ng bayan, mga kabataan, kung paano ba magkakaroon ng periodismo na malaya sa takot at malaya din sa pabor. Gayon din, Ginoong Chair, sa gitna po ng pandemya na ito, lahat po tayo ay may ginagampanan at tungkulin sa paglaban rin sa infodemic o yung deliberate at malicious na organized na spread ng disinformation. Kaya kinakailangan na sa ilalim po ng sirkumstansya na ito ay protektahan natin ang malayang daloy ng balita at informasyon dahil ito po ay nakakasagip rin ng buhay. Kailangan ito upang maprotektahan ng bawat isang Pilipino ang kanilang kalusugan, gayon din ang kanilang karapatan na magkaroon po ng access sa may kalidad at abot kaya na kalusugan. Gayon din, Ginoong Chair, ang pagkakaroon po ng access at pagprotekta doon sa public information at lahat ng suporta sa edukasyon na makakasagip ng pangarap. Now, more than ever, we must support the free flow of truthful information and continue to aspire for and protect critical and independent press. Ang kabataan po ay naninindigan para sa malaya at critical na media, pagtatanggol sa press freedom, pagtatanggol sa freedom of expression at lahat po ng mga batayang karapatan. Kinakailangan po ang malayang media para matiyak natin na ang demokrasya na pinaglaban at pinagtanggol ng mga nauna sa atin ay makakamtan ng mga susunod pang henerasyon. At napakahalaga po niyan sa paghuhubog ng aming mga paniniwala, ng pananaw, at gayon din ang paninindigan. Kaya tayo po ay nananawagan na imbis na paliitin pa natin ang espasyo ng balita, ng information, ng entertainment sa gitna ng krisis, at tayo po gawin natin ang lahat upang protektahan ang fundamental freedoms, ang civil liberties, ang press freedom, ang karapatan ng bawat Pilipino sa ating pag-ahon at sama-sama pong pagkilom mula sa kinakaharap natin ng krisis ngayon. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Chair. Defend press freedom, defend freedom of expression.
Maraming salamat po, Congresswoman Elago. Ngayon po, para sa huling magsasalita, Congressman Kaloy Zarate, para sa maikling manifestation.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa dalawang pinuno ng dalawang komiting ito. Dito sa historic na hearing na ito para sa renewal ng franchise ng ABS-CBN, 12 hearings, first time nagkaroon ng ganitong pagdinig sa application ng renewal ng isang prangkisa. Nabanggit na rin na aking mga kasamahan yung ibang kadahilanan sa kanilang summation kanina. Gusto ko na lang diinan, Mr. Chair, na para sa kinatawang ito at para rin sa aking mga kasamahan sa Makabayan Block, ang usapin ng renewal ng prangkisa ng ABS-CBN ay isang malaking usapin ng kalayaan sa pamamahayag. Pag sinabi ho natin kalayaan sa pamamahayag ay hindi lang ito usapin na na-shutdown yung ABS-CBN, yung kanilang tower at natigil yung TV Plus. No? May malaking usapin ito doon sa paano dumaloy ang malayang impormasyon para sa ating mga mamamayan sa pamamagitan ng ABS-CBN. At paanong humantong ito sa puntong ito ngayon na nawala sila sa ere. No? May konteksto ho yan. Sa napakahabang panahon, natulog ang aplikasyon ng prangkisang ito, hindi lang naman sa kasalukuyang administrasyon, kung hindi maging sa nakaraang mga administrasyon din. Pero ang isang katangi-tangi sa panahong ito ay nagmula mismo sa bibig ng Pangulo kung bakit sinabi niya noon na ayaw niyang ma-renew ang franchise ng ABS-CBN. No? Dahil sa mga, ito nga ang pinag-uusapan natin ngayon, sinasabing may mga issue on bias. No? Naging sa tingin ng kinatawang ito ay parang naging punto yun. No? Bakit hindi kaagad nagkaroon ng pagdinig sa usapin ng prangkisa ng ABS-CBN at sa panahong ito ngayon, lalo na sa panahong ito ngayon na sa gitna tayo ng krisis na pinalala pa nitong problema ng pandemya ng COVID na ang mga tao ay talaga naghahanap ng kanilang sources of information, no? Lalong-lalo na sa mga liblib na lugar sa iba't ibang bahagi ng Pilipinas. Mr. Chair, sa tingin po ng kinatawang ito, bagamat konstitusyonal na papel nga ng Kongreso ang pagbigay o hindi pagbigay ng bagong prangkisa sa ABS-CBN, hindi papel ng Kongreso ang pagtatakda kung ano at paano ang gagawing pag-uulat at pagbabalita ng mga mamamahayag o miyembro ng media. Ang dapat maging papel ng Kongreso ay tiyakin na ang mga kasamahan o mga miyembro ng media o ang mga journalists ay malayang nagagawa ang kanilang mga trabaho, ang kanilang pag-uulat, ang kanilang pagbusisi sa nangyayari sa ating lipunan nang walang pagkitil sa kanilang karapatan, na hindi sinisiil ang kanilang karapatan at kalayaan na mag-ulat. Sinasabi nga na ang isang malayang kung merong malayang pamamahayag ay magagarantiyahan din ito na ang kalayaan ng ating mga mamamayan, ating mga mamamayan sa kanilang exercise of their rights ay matutupad din. Ano? Kaya malaki pong usapin talaga kung bumalik sa ere ang ABS-CBN o hindi. Lalong-lalo na ngayon na hindi lang tayo naharap sa matinding krisis na dala ng pandemya ng COVID, kundi naharap din tayo. Halimbawa sa lalo pang paniniil ng karapatang pantao dahil naging batas na ang terror law. At ito ay pwedeng gamiting kasangkapan, no? Para paglabagin ang karapatan ng ating mga mamamayan. Kaya ito po ang konteksto kung bakit sinasabi natin na usapin ito ng press freedom, ang pagkasara ng ABS-CBN at kung hindi ito bumalik sa ere dahil hindi ito mabigyan ng prangkisa. Kaya sana po, Mr. Chair, ito ang isaalang-alang ng ating mga kasamahan. Hindi lang ito usapin ng negosyo sa tingin ng kinatawang ito. Mahalaga na masaalang-alang natin ano ang greater interest din na nakasalalay dito, lalo na ang interest ng ating mga kababayan, hindi lang dito sa Metro Manila, kundi sa buong bansa, sa buong mundo, na ang ABS-CBN nga, ang network na ito, ang nagiging source nila, no, ng impormasyon. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat po, Kong Kaloy Zarate. At ngayon po, dyan po nagtatapos yung atin pong hearing, ating interpellation.
Mr. Chair.
Cong Garin.
Mr. Chair, very quickly if I may. Marami po kasi ang nagtatanong, ang dami pong nagtatanong ng mga constituents ko. Alam po nilang napag-usapan na matagal ang prangkisa ng ABS-CBN. But they're asking why the issues now are seemingly not in relation to the issues being discussed before. Mr. Chair, just to set it again on the record, today's topic is about bias reporting, and Section 4 of the franchise granted to ABS-CBN states that willful misrepresentation should have no place. Uulitin ko po, Mr. Chair, karamihan po sa ating mga kasamahan dito, ayaw po, halos lahat po tayo, if not all of us, ayaw po nating may mga taong nawawalan ng trabaho. And Mr. Chair, just to reiterate, I conveyed the information I gave earlier, not because I want to criticize, but simply because I was abiding by my task as a legislator. I'm very proud and happy to see a report by Christian Isguera narrating the facts. I also know of a very good friend, Tito Boy Abunda, who actually looks at health as a primary topic. But Mr. Chair, I also saw posts by some employees and officers of ABS-CBN, kumakailan lang, again saying na tama po yung balita dahil nanggaling ito dun sa DZMM at nirelay lang. Mr. Chair, I really don't want to dwell on this. But again, we are all here to possibly point some facts that can be corrected. Kasi tama po si Mr. Julius Babaw. Marami po ang mga bagay na dapat at pwedeng mapag-usapan. Pero kung hindi po natin ito aaminin, ay mahihirapan po tayong matugunan ang mga maliliit na problema na pwedeng maging malaki. This is just 3 minutes, Mr. Chair. Allow me to play the actual interview.
So, Merry Christmas po sa lahat, no? Both yung nag-oppose at both sumasang-ayon. Ang hindi lang kasi maganda, parang ito yung isang issue na pinaghati-hati yung ating bansa. At ang pinakamasakit, yung issue na binigyan ng takot yung mga nanay at mga pasyente na ang dapat kasi pag may ganitong informasyon, kagaya ng ginawa ng mga ibang bansa, nagkaroon ng emergency meeting yung departamento at yung kanilang head ng departamento itinawag. Hiningan ano ba yung mga datos, ano yung naging reason, and kaya nga tinanong ko yung Brazil, ano po ang naging unang yung reaksyon? So the secretary called for an emergency meeting, tinignan nila yung datos kasi dun sa kanila 8 out of 10 ang nagkakadengue, sa atin 9 out of 10. Ito yung kanilang mga solusyon, and then ang unang naging labas is that in-explain sa mga nanay, sa mga doktor, sa mga pasyente, at sinabihan, these are the steps we are taking, at naging common lang yung talking head. No? Kasi sa atin kasi naunahan ng takot. And minsan pag nasusobrahan tayo ng takot, nawawala na po yung talagang focus kung ano bang dapat gawin. So sa mga nanay, pasensya na po talaga. No? I would like to apologize. Hindi po doon dahil sa mga nanay, pasensya na po talaga. No? I would like to apologize. Hindi po doon dahil sa bakuna, kundi parang as a Pilipino na nangyayari yung ganitong nagpapanik na yung bigla. Kasi ganito rin ang ginawa sa Ebola. Pinanik ng tao na hindi naman Ebola yung pasyenteng hinahawakan namin, malaria. Sabi, huwag puntahan sa Tabalyo. Yung sundalo yun. Sundalo yun, ando dun sa isang isla, linagay sa PPE, nag-chill. Sabi ko, hindi pwede yan, dalhin sa ospital yan. Kasi pagka ikaw yung malaria at nag-chill at nag-chill, pwede umakyat sa utak yan. Buhay ng sundalo natin yan. So, this is, saka pinandirian yung mga sundalong galing sa labas. Parang it's because of panic nga. No? Pero at the end of the day, ang tingin ko is these are all fights and challenges in life. As long as the truth is on our side, matatapos po ito.
Mr. Chair, I would like to insert into the records of this committee the actual recorded interview I had with DZMM. It started with my saying, bilang isang Pilipinong doktor, ako po ay humihingi ng paumanhin na minsan may mga away-away yung mga doktor at tuloy nagpapanik yung tao. And then we went on discussing Ebola, malaria, at iba pang mga sakit. And at the end, I was asked, kayo po ba ay natatakot? Where are you going from here? At ang sabi ko po, because we have the truth and we are backed with science, wala po kaming dapat katakutan. This is just probably an isolated case or a repeated isolated case. Ma'am Reyes, Sir Carlo Katigbak, I am not putting this forward because I want to discuss it here. You had several, even a few emissaries who approached me. Congressman Lagman talked to me, Congressman Benny Abante talked to me. Isa po ang paulit-ulit na sinasabi ko. We have a lot of patients, we have a lot of doctors, we have a lot of people who look up to ABS-CBN. And when it happens that people believes in a very big institution, because even my family, my daughter and myself look up very much to you. The reason why we brought this up, not only me, probably other members of Congress, is that we believe that your strength can make a difference. And public health should not be played at. Public health should not be meddled or muddled with willful misrepresentation, because that statement, when it was bloated, resulted to vaccine mistrust. And vaccine mistrust led to several public health problems. Hindi lang po ako, hindi lang po kami mga doktor, but even the former secretaries of health and the academe appealed before you in open news and in open fora, but it fell on deaf ears. Naintindihan po namin yon kung hindi nyo kami mapapaniwalaan, because as you has conveyed earlier, you have full trust in Dr. Susie Mercado, who is not an infectious disease specialist, and to our belief, she was not involved in the department during the time. Be that as it may, I hope that you will retrieve the original copy of this tape. It's not all about me. It's all about possible victims that can be there in the future, not because of you, but because of some people who might abuse their being aligned with your station. With that, Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, I move that an original copy of the transcript be submitted to this committee. And for the record, Mr. Chair, the posts being made by some of your officials currently on Twitter and on social media explaining that the apology was because I was calling for non-panic is again an added insult to the injury that was already created. Andiyan po yung mga tapes, andiyan po ang katotohanan. I stand by my word. If you will be able to prove that that TV Patrol news segment that was repeatedly aired during the wake of my father, ako po ay talagang magre-resign. Because I don't need to be in government to be of service to the people. And just like you, ABS-CBN does not need to be in government because your network can already make a big difference. It can make people, it can ruin lives, but you can also make a lot of difference as long as you don't practice willful misrepresentation. I don't know, Mr. Chair, if we can get the commitment from the Honorable President and CEO of ABS-CBN.
Chair would like to ask ABS-CBN to comply na lang po with the request of Congresswoman Garin.
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, we acknowledge all of your concerns, and we commit to look into each of the concerns that you raised po.
Thank you po, Mr. Katigbak. With that, again, ito na po yung katapusan po ng ating hearings sa lahat po ng issues sa ABS-CBN. Tulad ng sinabi po ni Congressman Marcoleta, Congressman Zarate, pang 12 hearing po natin. Gusto pong pasalamatan ng chairman na ito at siyempre ni chairman na Jonathan Alvarado, ang lahat po ng ating mga members na talagang walang pagod po na nag-attend physically or sa Zoom dito sa lahat ng hearings at sa ating lahat po ng resource persons, sa mga officers pa ng ABS. Maraming salamat po sa pagpa-unlock po. Alam ko po nakakapagod pero tiniis nyo po. So maraming salamat po sa pagpapa-unlock po. The Chair would like to instruct the Committee Secretary to please make a summation na po nung lahat po ng ating mga natalakay sa last 12 hearings para po magawan na po ninyo ng matrix po, Comsec. And then sa next hearing po natin, which will be on Thursday po, 1:00, magkakaroon na po tayo ng mga summation. Isang summation po na manggagaling po sa authors, and then isang summation naman po galing po sa kabila. So yun po ating magiging agenda po sa Thursday. Summation na po tayo. Kong Jonathan?
Maraming salamat, Chairman Chikoy, sa sabi nga po nila, sa haba-haba ng prosesyon, sa simbahan rin naman ng tuloy. Sa punto pong ito ay tutuldo ka na. Sabi nga ni Chairman Chikoy, tutuldo ka na natin ng series of interpellations. Pero sa kaalaman po ng lahat, meron pa tayong ilang hanging questions na natira. Yun po ay hindi nadidinggin ng Committee on Legislative Franchises, bagkus ay didinggin na lamang ng Blue Ribbon Committee na kasama rin naman ng ka-joint rin naman ng committee ito. At sisiguraduhin po natin na lahat ng bagay na hindi po nasagot ay makaklaro para po sa kaalaman ng lahat. Gayon na rin po sa hinihingi ni Congresswoman Janet Garin. Sa lahat po ng mga inimbitahan natin na guest, mula nung unang-unang hearing, yung hearing number 1 hanggang hearing number 12, sa lahat po ng nasiyahan at hindi nasiyahan sa aming pag-iimbita sa inyo, sabi nga po namin ni Chairman Chikoy, kung meron mga napahirapan sa hearing na ito, kami na po ang humihingi ng paumanhin sa inyo. At sa mga kababayan po natin na sumabaybay sa hearing po natin, sana po ay hindi po namin nasayang yung oras ninyo sapagkat napakarami nyo naman talagang matututunan sa hearing na ito. At pinilit po natin na gawing patas at komprehensibo ang hearing na ito, bagkus minsan po pagka sa pro sasabihan tayong hindi patas, minsan naman sa anti sasabihin hindi tayo patas, pero ang chairman po ng dalawang committee ito ay talagang pinilit na gawin ang aming makakaya upang palabasin po ang katotohanan at gawing patas at walang bias po sa hearing na ito. Magkita-kita po tayo muli lahat sa Huwebes, 1:00, gaya ng binili ni Chairman Chikoy. Magkakaroon po tayo ng summation ng pros at anti sa usaping ito. At bukas naman po, yung mga gusto at nagtatanong tungkol sa social amelioration ay may hearing po ang Blue Ribbon Committee patungkol pa rin sa social amelioration. At may mga bisita po tayo na manggagaling sa DSWD at may mga bisita rin tayo na manggagaling sa mga LGUs, lalong-lalo na yung may mga usapin o may mga reklamo na LGUs natin. Hindi naman po puro reklamo bukas ang hahanapin natin. Siyempre, maghahanap rin tayo ng mga solusyon. Iyon talaga ang hinahantay natin, solusyon at tamang distribution ng social amelioration, lalong-lalo na sa libo-libo nating kababayan na nagko-comment na naghihintay pa rin ng kanilang amelioration. Muli po, sa lahat po ng nanonood, sa lahat ng ating mga kasama at invited guests, maraming salamat po. Pasalamat na rin kay Speaker Alan Cayetano sa kanyang gabay sa committee ito na bigyan tayo ng free hand na patakbuhin na mabuti, maayos, komprehensibo at patas na hearing. Maraming salamat po. Mula po sa Committee on Good Government, the hearing is now suspended.
As a Committee on Legislative Franchises, hearing suspended.
Mag-Cinderella na kami, Mr. Chair.